The president's family just got the green light for its own bank. On Friday, America's national bank regulator granted the Trump family's crypto venture conditional approval for a national trust bank with a $4 billion stablecoin behind it. Today, 4 crypto stories, 3 macro, 3 AI, and at the end, the $7 billion deal for the Tollbooth of AI. This week in crypto, the real trades were paperwork, charters, filings, and leaks. 1. The OCC, America's national bank regulator, just granted World Liberty Financial preliminary conditional approval to open a national trust bank. World Liberty is the Trump family-backed crypto venture, and the bank would run custody and operations for its USD-1 stablecoin, a roughly $4 billion token. The approval is conditional. Capital, liquidity, and compliance tests come before the doors open. But understand what the paper is. A federal charter turns a family crypto project into national banking infrastructure approved by a regulator who answers to that family's patriarch. The conflict now has a charter number, 2. The 13F window closed Friday, the quarterly forced reveal of what big money actually did. The answer, the biggest allocators held or added through the crash. Norway's sovereign fund sits at record Bitcoin exposure, up more than 60% in a year. Abu Dhabi's Mubadala holds around $660 million of the BlackRock fund. Harvard stopped selling and kept $101 million. UBS multiplied its call position roughly 24 times. The same week, retail money flowed out. Whoever is selling Bitcoin at $63,000, it is not the longest money on earth. 3. Chicago's CME, the regulated home of American Bitcoin futures, just lost the top spot. Its open interest fell to about 123,000 Bitcoin, the lowest in over 2 years, and Binance passed it for the first time since 2023 per CoinGlass data. Analysts point at the dying basis trade. The arbitrage that paid institutions to hold regulated futures no longer pays. Here is what that means. Price discovery follows the leverage, and the leverage just moved offshore. Beyond the rulebook Washington spent 3 years writing. The map of who sets Bitcoin's price got redrawn. 4. Trezor, the hardware wallet maker, disclosed that hackers breached its shipping partner, Shipmonk, and pulled order records for 13,689 customers. Names, phone numbers, home addresses, no coins were touched, and no devices were hacked. The danger is what the list is, a verified roster of people who own enough crypto to lock it in a vault with directions to their front doors. Self-custody moves the risk off the exchange and onto you. A leaked buyer list turns phishing into house calls, and no software update patches a doorstep. The president's family got a bank charter, the sovereigns held while retail sold, and the price is now set offshore. Follow the paperwork. That's crypto today. Borders got expensive this weekend. A tariff wall, a pirate coast, a currency line. 1. 50% tariffs on a range of Canadian imports take effect Wednesday, and negotiators spent the weekend trying to stop the clock. Bloomberg and the Washington Post report the two sides are close, but stuck on real sticking points. Canada's lead negotiator went further, warning that if the tariffs bite on Wednesday, the talks themselves could end. Canada buys more American goods than any other country, and roughly $2 billion in goods crosses that border every day. A 50% wall reprices cars, lumber, energy, and groceries in both directions. Tariffs are collected at the border. They are paid at the checkout. 2. The Strait of Hormuz has been shut since February, and the detour built its own economy. Tankers now sail 12,000 extra miles around Africa, and Somali pirates came out of retirement to meet them. 3 hijacked vessels are currently held, with ransom demands reported up to $10 million, and the IMO counts 44 seafarers hostage. War risk insurance that cost 0.25% of a ship's value peaked near a full percent for 1 week of cover. The EIA now projects disruption into 2027. Chokepoints do not close free. They close compounding, and every cargo bills you the difference. 3. 2 weeks ago, the United States and Japan did something they had not done together since 2011, a coordinated intervention to prop up the yen. It worked for days. The dollar dropped below 156. This weekend, the yen sat back near 160, the whole move given back. The reason is structural. American rates near 3.5% against Japanese rates near zero makes selling yen the most reliable trade in currencies. Two of the richest treasuries on earth pushed, and the market pocketed the difference. Intervention buys headlines, rate gaps buy trends. A tariff wall lands Wednesday, the oil detour pays ransom, and two treasuries lost to the market. Borders are expensive again. That's macro today. AI made money 3 ways this week. Only 2 of them were legal. 1. Stripe has reportedly finalized a deal to buy OpenRouter for more than $7 billion per Bloomberg. OpenRouter is the switchboard of AI. One interface, more than 400 models behind it, routing and billing handled, around 8 million users. 82 days ago, it raised money at $1.3 billion. Stripe is paying more than 5 times that. OpenRouter's founder once called his company the Stripe for AI. Stripe apparently agreed at full price. The checkout layer of the internet just bought the metering layer of intelligence, and every model call is now a toll. 2. Anthropic, the lab behind Claude, told investors its preliminary second quarter revenue passed $11.5 billion per Bloomberg. A year ago, that quarter was $787 million. That is roughly 14 times larger in 1 year, and the company says the quarter produced its first positive adjusted operating income. The timing is not an accident. Anthropic is courting public investors for a fall listing, and it just showed them the number every skeptic said was impossible, an AI lab in the black. If the filing confirms it, the math on the whole sector reprices. 3. A 4-university study put AI chatbots up against experienced human con artists, running romance investment scams on simulated targets. The humans convinced 18%. The machines convinced 46%, more than double the hit rate at nearly zero cost per conversation. This scam category, pig butchering, already drains an estimated $75 billion a year worldwide, and its only bottleneck was human labor in scam compounds. That bottleneck just dissolved. The same technology writing your emails is better than professionals at gaining your trust. The cheapest defense left is knowing that. The router sold for $7 billion, the lab behind Claude printed $11.5, and the scammers doubled their hit rate. Intelligence is a business now. That's AI today. The most important deal of the weekend is Stripe buying OpenRouter for more than $7 billion per Bloomberg. And here is why it tells you what this market really believes. Context. OpenRouter is a switchboard. A developer writes one integration and gets more than 400 AI models behind a single interface. It routes each request to the right model, handles the billing, and prevents lock-in. Stripe is the internet's payment rail, moving over $1 trillion a year. One company prices API calls, the other prices everything else. The tape. 2023, Alex Atala, a co-founder of OpenSea, launches OpenRouter as a side project routing early AI apps. May 26, 2026, it raises $113 million at a $1.3 billion valuation, with Sequoia, Andreessen Horowitz, and Google's growth fund on the list, and around 8 million users on the platform. July, the Wall Street Journal reports takeover interest. And notice the backdrop. Frontier model prices were falling all summer, which made a neutral router more valuable, not less, because every developer suddenly wanted to shop the market per task. August 16th, Bloomberg reports the deal is finalized, more than $7 billion, 82 days after the $1.3 billion print. That is a 5.4 times markup, roughly $70 million of implied value created every day. Now the financial angle. Who decides? 2 private boards, no regulator vote, no public filing until after the fact, because both companies are private. Who pays? Stripe's investors fund the premium today. Tomorrow, the toll passes to every developer whose AI traffic now routes through a Stripe-owned meter, sitting right next to the payment rail those same businesses already cannot leave. What changed? The AI stack now has a vertically integrated middleman. One company can meter the model call, process the payment for it, and see both sides' prices. That is the position Visa spent 50 years building in credit cards, assembled here in one Sunday announcement. And the price itself is a confession. If the router is worth $7 billion, while the models behind it keep cutting prices, the The market has decided the toll booth outlives the traffic. In a gold rush, you sell shovels. In a traffic jam, you buy the toll plaza. Stripe just bought the toll plaza, and the whole AI economy is the road. So here's the question I keep coming back to. When one company can meter your AI call, process the payment for it, and see both sides of the price, who decides what a fair toll looks like? The market, the regulator, or nobody? I genuinely want your read. Tell me in the comments. Blue pill. This is maturity. A profitable AI lab. Real money paying for real infrastructure. Regulators granting charters with conditions instead of bans. The adults are building rails. Red pill. Count the toll booths. The checkout layer bought the metering layer. The ruling family holds a bank charter. The price of Bitcoin is set offshore. And the oil detour pays ransom. $7 billion says owning the chokepoint beats owning the thing that flows through it. The timeline keeps moving. We will see you in the next one.